Alright, Schlockmeister fans, another re-review from my previous channel. This one's called Psycho Sisters, made for television. Let's check it out.
There's no other way. I have to do it. I have to do it.
What does he have to do? Crash his car. Now we have a police chase.
We're in pursuit. 459 suspect on motorcycle. Eastbound Vincent Thomas Bridge. Request unit to intercept on Terminal Island.
Take it up slowly, Fred. That's it. Nice and easy.
DA under control. Flying corridor of dead body at sea. Helicopter 2 returning to base.
More police action here.
The hell did you make me shoot?
Why'd you run?
Whoa. Gun went off.
Where did this all happen? When?
Is it?
It's about your husband, Mrs. Stanley.
What's the matter? What's happened?
I'm afraid there's been an accident. A very bad accident. I'm afraid he's dead, Mrs. Stanley.
Oh my God, no.
Susan Strasberg is Brenda on the left, and that's her older sister Millie on the right.
Mama has been dead for years. Talk like that is
I
tough
know,
for him.
I know. It's going to put me back in the sanitarium. That's what you were going to say.
So Millie just got out of the nut house, and Brenda just lost her husband. Time to identify her husband's body. Spitting image. I'm sure it was an easy ID.
Criminal charges no longer exist against George Stanley. But that doesn't necessarily close the case.
What do you mean?
Over the past few years, you've lost a lot of money. Money that your brother-in-law systematically siphoned from your trust. As you can see, it totals nearly $200,000. Thanks for lunch.
That's 3 on me.
Put it on your expense account. What expense account? The one you're going to get on the Stanley case.
You're kidding. I thought it was suicide.
Not according to the coroner. He was drugged. Dead before he hit the bottom of that river bed.
Millie, you want some help?
So Brenda's moved in with her older sister Millie. Unbeknownst to Brenda, Millie is spiking her drinks.
Oh, Millie, you know what? You're spoiling me rotten.
That's because I enjoy taking care of you.
As she recovers, she meets a beach stud who's actually a cop.
Well, I'm vacationing, actually. I'm staying at that motel down the road. You're Brenda Stanley, right?
What do you want?
Nothing.
Only voices I hear are the birds.
The spiking continues. She wants all the money from the estate. So the results of these drugs are some weird, funky dreams. And then this guy shows up. It's actually just Woody, the caretaker.
It's like a voice calling to me. It sounds like... No.
It's hard to see, but this is Woody outside. Taking a bump on the head.
Millie, was that the man who hit you?
Don't know.
Well, I think it was. And that means he's not a very good person, and he should not be talking to my sister. If you ever see them again together, I want you to tell me.
It's very dark again. We're about to get another victim. Brenda's having her dreams again. In which she sees her husband. They don't end well, though.
Oh, what's the problem, Lily?
It's about my sister, Brenda Stanley.
It's a doctor.
Sit down, won't you?
She's been distraught from the beginning, from the day her husband died. But now she's worse, Doctor. She's much, much worse. She needs help. She needs professional care.
So is Brenda going crazy? Millie wants her committed so she can get the inheritance. Or the estate, I should say. Meanwhile, Woody's sneaking around. It's very dark again, but Woody's outside in a fight with someone.
Where the hell have you been? And why did you lock me in my room? What has happened to you?
Woody's dead.
Let me go! What are you talking about? Look at me. It's Woody's blood. I'm covered in Woody's blood. I'm not sorry. That idiot of yours chased me all over this place. That's a lie. He wouldn't have hurt you. He wouldn't have hurt anybody. Well, I'm glad he's dead. You can't say that. Don't ever say that. I can say anything I want to. And why did you lock me in my room? Because you were acting crazy. I'm having nightmares, but you're the one that's crazy. You belong back in that nut house.
Millie decides to jump in the shower to wash off all the blood. She's gonna get a surprise in there. So it's Millie who's taken away to the nut house, not Brenda.
That's almost $700,000. I'll drink to that.
And guess what?
Minus the sanitarium expenses.
George is alive.
Well, it's the least we can do.
Well, first I gotta get rid of him. It gives me the chills.
So the cop is spying on her, and she sees George.
Hey, just go ahead, Jerry.
Stakeout finally paid off. Stanley just showed up.
I'll dispatch a couple of units and we'll pick them up. Named Woody,
And
remember
he
him?
accuses her.
You're an accessory to both of them. And if my partner doesn't make it, it'll add up to 3. You're in over your head.
Well, I had nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. My husband is dead.
Okay, let's play it your way. But I'm gonna have to take it down anyway.
She goes nowhere.
I'm not sure what exactly their plan is here, but they
You know the road.
stuff the cop in the back. They knock him out first. I think they're going to put him over the cliff, just like they did the other guy. But when they get to the cliff, we got ourselves a fight. A fight that ends when George falls into the car, puts it into gear, and goes down the cliff himself. Which
thing I forgot
which
to
makes
tell
Brenda
you.
insane. She gets
Do
put
you
into the
remember when
mental
you were
home,
giving me all those nightmares you had?
and Millie's okay.
Well, I finally figured it out. They must have come from my tranquilizers. Silly me, trying to help. Apparently they're too strong for some people. And another thing, darling. I won't be able to visit you next week, or the week after that. Dr. Thomas wants me to take a little vacation, and I think it's a very good idea. I'd like to get away. And you know where I've decided to go? Rio de Janeiro.
Which was where Brenda and George were going to go. All right. Let's talk about Psycho Sisters. Now, this was put out by Prism on VHS. In fact, I remember I rented this movie from a place called Red Owl. It was a grocery store in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Probably taped this in 1986, maybe, in the spring of 86, something like that. I don't think I ever watched it, though, until years later. Seen it a couple times over the years. Now, this movie is not available on DVD. It's a VHS only. I burned a copy and made some homemade box art there. That's what the VHS box looks like, which I actually do own. I used to see an ad for this movie on a lot of other Prism tapes. In fact, this tape has an ad for the movie Dominique, which Dominique is Dead, which I reviewed at some point earlier on the channel. But anyway, let's get to the movie itself. Made for television, 1974. It's also called So Evil, My Sister. I think that's what it's called. And stars Susan Strasberg and an actress named Faith Domergue or something like that. Anyway, so Susan Strasberg plays Brenda, and her sister Faith Domergue plays the role of Millie. So the movie starts out with a car accident, and it's Brenda's husband, George, who dies in a car accident. So she's completely distraught. She ends up moving in with her older sister, Millie, and Millie kind of takes care of her. Now, Millie actually has just got out of a mental institution, so she's a little nuts. She's got some pills, some medicine that she's supposed to take, but instead, Millie decides to slip these pills to her sister Brenda in hopes that Brenda will go crazy. She'll be declared insane, and then Millie can inherit all of the money that George was supposed to have instead of Brenda. That's her plan anyway. Or maybe he had a big life insurance policy too. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's what's going on here. So throughout this film, it seems like Brenda's going crazy. She keeps seeing images of her dead husband all burnt and scarred up and everything. So she's going nuts, but she doesn't know Millie's actually behind this all. Then later on, there's a twist in this movie as things get reversed. This handyman outside, I think his name is Woody, gets killed. And then she comes in, does Millie, and she's covered with blood, and she gets into a little spat with her sister, and Brenda slaps her. Then she runs into the shower, does Millie, to wash off all the blood, and then she sees George's disfigured body again. Then she goes crazy, and next thing you know, she's back in a mental institution. Well, turns out that George isn't really dead. They faked his death so they can get all this money, apparently. I'm not quite sure the logistics or how that all is supposed to work. And they're going to run off to Rio de Janeiro to live the rest of their lives, are George and Brenda. Well, there's a cop who's been snooping around, and he doesn't buy this all, and he's been spying on them, and he actually sees George at the house, and he's like, aha, I was right. So he calls the other cops, hey, better come in and get there now before they take off. I think they're going to run. Well, he does show up. He shows up at the house then, and he accuses Brenda of conspiring with George. George is still alive. Where are you guys going? That sort of thing. George comes out with a gun and basically knocks the cop out, stuffs him in the back of the car. They take off, and then I don't know what he's going to. I think he's going to throw him off a cliff too. Then the cop gets out when they get close to the cliff, and they start a fight. Next thing you know, the cop punches George. George falls into the car. Car goes into gear, goes off the cliff, and blows up. So George actually did die in a fiery car crash at the bottom of the cliff. This, in turn, puts Brenda into a spiral, and she goes immediately crazy. Our last scene in the movie is Brenda is in the mental institution, and she's being pushed by her sister, Millie, and Millie apparently is fine. She's okay now, and she's basically saying, I can't come visit you because I'm going to go somewhere next week. In fact, I'm going to go to Rio de Janeiro, which is where Brenda was going to go. So I guess Millie did inherit all the money. That's how this movie ends. That's Psycho Sisters. So again, made for television, no nudity, a little bit of blood, not much, but I don't know. It was kind of a slow film for only 76 minutes long. It's a little slow. Actually, maybe even 74 minutes. I'm not sure, but it actually kind of got moving the last 10 minutes of the movie as everything was starting to be revealed. That was kind of fun, but other than that, it was a little slow going. But again, it's only 76 minutes, so you can endure it. But anyway, that's Psycho Sisters. Like I said, not available on DVD, VHS only. I looked, there's the Prism videotape, the clamshell, which I owned, is like listed on eBay for like $80. However, there are some other versions of it which are a lot cheaper in the $20 range if you're looking for the VHS of it. That's what you're gonna have to do. So don't be confused. There is another Psycho Sisters which came out like in the late 90s or something, or maybe early 2000s, completely unrelated to this one. But this is the old television Prism video one. So anyway, check it out. Leave some comments. Maybe this is streaming on YouTube. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised stuff like this is. Check it out. Leave some comments. It is Psycho Sisters. So evil, my sister. Watch it. Bye.